We're oppressed kings and queens. Okay. Checking out Topher today. Facts or Races featuring Bryson Gray. Let's get into it.
They gon' hate me for this one. Hashtag facts or racist. RIP mom, you the greatest. Raised up a king and they hate it. Everyone mind about races when they're not the biggest problem we facing. Take a real look at the nation. Single motherhood inflation. Whipping your boys, I saw jumping a lady. She only 15, left her bloody and shaking. They wasn't wearing no rags.
Ooh. What?
I like that beat.
Was that real? What?
Was what real?
They were jumping a girl?
Oh, I think
he
so.
Said they were only.
I was still stuck on the last line.
Bloody.
What did he say? Single motherhood inflation?
Yeah, facts. That's facts.
That was a catchy little bar. Single motherhood inflation. You know, I've never heard like that phrase.
That's facts.
You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness. I think that does cause a lot of the problems we face.
Yeah.
Like growing up in a single parent household, I grew up with my mom. My parents got divorced when I was very young. That definitely changed my trajectory. Yeah. You know? It's like I got arrested when I was 17. It was the summer before my senior year of high school, and I deserved to be arrested. And that could have went very wrong. Mm-hmm. So I was driving. I was getaway driving for two of my other friends who were raised by single moms as they went to go steal liquor from a liquor store. And I'm 17. I had a BB gun under the seat. The cop was so nice. He was so nice. There was a bunch of cops, actually. But they were all so nice. I was sitting in handcuffs just on the side of my car talking to the cop.
Really?
Yeah, my car was like...
Wait, you were standing?
Sitting on the side of my car in handcuffs. Right? And the cop was like...
in your car with your
No, legs? On the side of the car, like leaning up against the side of the car in handcuffs. And he was like searching the car and whatnot. And my car was two different colors. Like the front fender was like a different color. He was asking me about it. He's like, oh, why is your car two different colors? I was like, oh, because I crashed it and went to a junkyard and rebuilt it. He's like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. I was talking to him. They found my BB gun that was under the seat, right? And they were like, oh, we could have charged you with armed robbery for this, but we're not going to. But I think they kept the BB gun. And they actually didn't really charge me with much of anything. They gave me like a speeding ticket.
Wait, they kept the BB gun?
Yeah.
Okay. You got a speeding ticket?
I got a speeding ticket, and it was like 2 other moving violations. But they just like were super nice. I think they saw I didn't have a record, and I think the other guys did, and they went easy on me. I didn't get much of anything except a firm slap on the wrist, and that was the last time I was ever arrested. But it's like, if I grew up with my dad, he was really strict and disciplinarian, I would have never even thought of going out and being bad with friends like that. Like, not at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
did those friends have single moms?
Yes, they did.
Shoot.
But it's like, without the dad, like, instilling discipline in the house and those kind of things, like, kids kind of run wild. So I think a lot of the gang violence and all that kind of stuff stems from single-parent households. Like with dads in the house, I don't think it would be as much. Now, some of that stuff, it would still happen because if you're born in that kind of neighborhood, your dad might be gangbanging too. But single motherhood inflation, what is the single motherhood rate in the black community? Something like 70% or something like that. And that's where a lot of the gang violence is and stuff like that. I think that's a huge problem. Because I know I did a bunch of bad things when I was young that I would not have done. My dad was in the house.
That is a crazy story.
Yeah, it was a crazy night.
That is a crazy story.
I called my brother.
Were you scared?
Come
on.
What do you define scared?
Scared.
I mean, you're oddly at peace because, I mean, it's out of your hands now.
You're like, dang, I guess I'm going to jail.
Yeah. And what are you supposed to do?
I guess I'm about to be a criminal or something. Be a vigilante.
Right. But
dang.
Yeah, it was a night I will not forget.
Take a real look at the nation. Single motherhood inflation. Whipping your boys, I saw jumping a lady. She only 15, left her bloody and shaking. They wasn't wearing no rags. Nobody waving no flags. You ain't even got to ask.
This is like St. Louis, like Riverfront.
Everybody wanna play victim. Blame everything on the system. Be a sad day when it hit them. Life could have been different if you would've listened to the information that we spit. Take it, keep it, chew it for a bit. Hold your head up, brother, never quit. Self-accountability, that's it. That'll get you all to the top. Then you really ball till you drop. Economic growth, man, I'm here to stir the pot. Say you wanna hear the truth, so I put it in the beat. Changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to exposure. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it.
Okay, that culture vulture part, only prey on the weak. That's so true. I feel like all the, how do you say it, all that narrative stuff and all the movements modern day really prey on the weak and like the ill-informed. You know what I mean?
That is a good point.
That is
that
a good
right
point.
there. That's my conundrum. That's like the problem I have is that like. So you guys see my brother in the videos of Tom McDonald,
yes.
right? We love Kyle, woo, you know. So it's like as much as it's like frustrating, and he'll cut you off, and he'll be like so like gung ho that this is the way it is because the school taught me that. I just feel like the level of like they just don't know what they don't know, and it's like I'm not like here like a genius, but it's like I know more than you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I just be so stuck.
Yeah, I feel like it preys on basically people who don't seek out information.
Yeah.
If you only get the information that's given to you through the mainstream media, like that's kind of the target demographic. People who don't research for themselves. Because then you can get a little clip that's out of context or just a headline, and you take that as fact.
Yeah. And then if you look at a bunch of headlines, they'll like kind of all overlap in a way that creates a whole different story, like a whole opposite truth. Like literally, they'll have you thinking.
It's not truth.
They'll have you thinking. Like I feel like literally, my brother has told me stuff that's like, oh, how is Tom McDonald not a plant? You know what I mean? Just that as an example. And it's like they'll literally think the opposite of the truth. And it's like I feel for him. You know, like it's so frustrating to deal with and everything at a certain level, but at another level, it's like. He wants to be accepted and you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like doesn't have a strong sense of self and trusts people too much, and so
This honesty that we seek, y'all be like, facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why y'all say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. 13-year-old girls working on TikTok. You saying he just wanna learn how to crip walk. If you ain't talking about sex, then kick rocks. All they care about the chains and the wristwatch, they got us change. This is something only God can change. Don't get mad at me when I complain about how 4 and 5 black women are beasts. Half of the murders us killing in the streets. Almost half of abortions too. This is a rap verse, but this is a warning too. And go against God like there's nothing more to do. But y'all don't care, y'all just really wanna point that's new. Wanna gang bang, do drugs, wish drugs all above. Sell drugs till you in the jail cell, not a club. Now another single mother, cause we lost another brother. Sold to an undercover, kids gotta raise each other.
ooh, this is cold.
He said sell drugs.
He said so much.
Until you're in jail, not the club.
That's so true.
What'd you pause it for, though?
I paused it. He's saying so much. I paused it because it's just like, he's talking about, killing each other being a problem.
Which people hate it when you bring that up. Oh, my goodness.
But, I think it is also a consequence of poverty. You know what I mean? Like, if you can't communicate and talk it out, then fight it out. And if you can't fight it out, use weapons and kill it out,
That is one view on it. But what about countries that we've been to that are very poor, but are very safe and don't have gang violence issues?
Their government's on some different stuff.
But if it's just a consequence of poverty, shouldn't it be the same everywhere where people are poor?
Well, I don't think so, because I think the culture makes a difference. Like, I think their drugs are highly criminalized, weapons are highly criminalized,
So it's not just a consequence of poverty. It would be a consequence of culture.
A consequence of culture, a consequence of government.
So I think that's what they're trying to do, change the culture.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
Like, we've been plenty of places where people are dirt poor, but they're happy and it's safe.
Yeah.
They were walking the streets of, like, Bali, Indonesia, 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Someone came and gave us a ride on their moped because we didn't want to go up a street because there's so many stray dogs. And it's just safe and nice, and we didn't have any second guesses about it. You know what I mean? Like, there's plenty of places. I have a question for you. What?
So, if those people were given, the crack cocaine epidemic, whatever, guns, drugs, whatever, they were given all these things, right, put in their communities, do you think they would be similar to communities in the U.S.? Or do you think it's bigger than just that?
I think it's bigger than just that.
What are you saying?
I mean, not that China is any role model at all, but there's a reason they banned hip-hop music.
They did?
Yes.
No way.
Yes. There's a reason. They don't want that influence on their culture. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
A lot of hip hop is about gangbanging and all the stuff they were just talking about. So there's a reason they banned that.
And they do actually. They have like, remember you saw like K-pop type performance? Remember that? It was like K-pop vibes. It was like a concert. Somebody was telling us. I forget where that was. It was like at the mall. Somebody was telling us like, oh, they're really popular. We walked past.
Oh, you're talking about Bangkok.
Was that in Bangkok?
Yeah.
So in China though, I remember hearing similar music though. It was like a lot of K-pop over there. You know what I mean? Vietnam was like the only place where there was like rap.
Right.
But maybe that kind of music is like less ratchet.
I think so. Everything is less ratchet than hip hop.
I don't care, y'all just really wanna point that's new. Wanna gang bang, do drugs, which drugs all above. Sell drugs till you in the jail cell, not a club. Now another single mother, cause we lost another brother. Sold to an undercover, kids gotta raise each other. This what you want for the future? Or are you trying to look cool on computers? Claim you a king, but blame the white man. When something bad happens, you feel like a loser. And keep voting the same way. Cause your parents did it too.
Wait.
What?
What are you laughing
No,
at?
he did it.
He said, claim you a king.
Then blame the white man when something goes wrong.
Okay.
I mean, just the way he illustrated that, like, you're a king, but then you're blaming something else when something goes wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're blaming the white man. Blame the man when
Right.
something goes wrong. But you're a king, though? Like, that's how kings act? They just blame other people and something? Okay.
Right? Ladies busted down in these streets of Queens.
Just the way he illustrated it was hilarious to me.
That's a good point.
The future, or are you trying to look cool on computers? Claim you a king, but blame the white man. When something bad happens, you feel like a loser. And keep voting the same way. Cause your parents did it too. Truth is your parents are ignorant too, and politicians know it, so now they got you. Changing the culture.
Wait, what?
Okay, this is a lot of pauses. But
Wait, what are you laughing at?
Because he said you vote the same way basically because your parents vote that way.
Facts.
And then he said, truth is, your parents are ignorant too.
Oh! Wait, let's run that back a little bit.
Okay. I thought it was funny he's calling out a person's parents.
On computers, claim you a king, but blame the white man. When something bad happens, you feel like a loser. And keep voting the same way. Cause your parents did it too. Truth is your parents are ignorant too, and politicians know it, so now they got you. We changing the culture every day of the week. Right now it's more like a vulture. Only prey on the weak, but we are here to expose ya. Going down as I speak. No excuses, can't refuse this honesty that we seek. Y'all be like, facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it. Facts are racist. Why I say this? You know it's true. Y'all just hate it.
Inspired by Larry Elder. Okay, I'm taking the headphones off. I got a lot to say on this.
Okay, you got a lot to say.
Have a headphone break.
Got a lot to say on this.
Okay.
What it is.
First of all, that whole, you say you're a king, right? But blame the white man when anything bad happens to you. That is Bryson Gray is in here. What?
Oh, shoot.
Hold on.
What?
Shout out to Bryson Gray.
Shout out. That's so crazy. Right after the song.
Oh, that is wild. Appreciate the support.
That's awesome.
And we appreciate your content too. But yeah, so first of all, the king and blame the white man every time something bad happens, right? That is just, it's crazy to me that people walk around talking we're kings and queens, but we're also oppressed. We're oppressed kings and queens. Like what?
Right? How that happened?
That makes no sense. How are you
Yeah.
gonna be a repressed king or queen?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but okay, counter argument. People aren't thinking. I mean, we all know that, like, if you literally just sat there and broke it down and thought about it for a second, it would be very easy to put it together that it's impossible. First off, you're not a king because you're literally not.
A king of what?
A king of like, you know, Walmart groceries. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like modern day.
I know what you mean.
It's like there's very few kings, okay?
Right.
It's very weird to say.
Like a king rules over something.
I feel like walking around, I'm a king, this is my queen, this and that. It's just like basically saying I'm very insecure about my position in society.
It's goofy.
It's goofy.
It's very goofy.
It's so goofy. And I mean, he says so much.
And that clip of them jumping, like a group of men jumping a lady, that was ridiculous. Like, what could she have possibly done to deserve that?
Yeah. It's terrible, though, because I feel like, on the one hand, it's like these people are not really thinking and functioning. And it's like, you know what I mean? They haven't, like, woken up out of the sleep. They haven't, like, clicked it,
Right.
But on the other hand, it's like it gets dangerous to the people that have clicked it and to, you know what I mean, to everyone else in society. So we shouldn't just feel bad for them, you know what I mean? Because they don't feel bad for you.
And that line about the parents being ignorant, that hit home. Because I have conversations with one of my parents. I'm not going to say who it is.
Okay.
I will protect my parents. I have conversations with one of my parents.
Okay.
Right? And they were, we were having a little debate. This is last year when things were all hot and burning down, right? Mm-hmm. And I was telling them some...
Hot and burning down?
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I was telling the person some facts.
Okay, some facts.
And they literally told me, facts are racist.
Okay.
Bryson Gray again with another super chat.
Shout out. Shout out.
Appreciate the support. That's crazy. We have a Bryson Gray in here.
That's wild.
He said, wait, someone donated more than me. Hold up. I appreciate all the love. But yeah, one of my parents was telling me that the facts were literally racist.
No.
Yes.
Someone literally said that?
One of my parents literally said that.
Wait, how can...
Because he said, this was... I keep giving it away who it is. But they said this was about crime statistics.
Okay.
Their argument to say the facts were racist was that when white people do crimes, they don't get convicted.
Oh, so it doesn't get recorded.
Yeah, they just don't prosecute white people and don't convict them.
How can you prove that, though? You know what I'm saying? It's like the same logic they use to say that it is racist is the same logic that you can't prove.
Right, it's like trying to prove you're not a plant. Like, you can't prove things like that. It's hard to prove a negative.
You can't.
So then I'm like, okay, well, what are let's say this is true, this whole facts are racist thing.
Okay.
Well, cut the murder rate, the crime rate in half for the black community, and it's still disproportionate to the size of the community. Like, cutting it in half, that's saying the system's really racist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So let's say it really was that racist, you cut it in half, it's still crazy numbers. And they're like, well, how do you know it's half? It could be more than that. You know, like, there's just
But that's literally how it goes.
There's just no getting through.
That's literally how it goes. It's always like, it's literally, how do you know Tom's not playing?
Right.
It's literally just like...
You can't argue with feelings. You can't do it.
You can't. But it's not supposed to be like this.
So like the phrase, facts don't care about your feelings, I get it. But for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And the opposite reaction is feelings don't care about your facts. It's just... They don't.
They don't.
That should be the phrase for people like that. Feelings don't care about your facts. Because they really don't. And it's so hard to have a discussion with people like that.
That's true.
Because they can just refute anything with feelings.
It's wild how today you have two polar opposite ways of operating in life. Strategies. But the weird thing is that this strategy isn't long term.
Be Bryson Gray with the facts. It'll be 25% and we're only 13% of the population. So that's the crimes cut in half. Yeah, and that's insane. That is still insane, even if it was cut in half. So it's even with facts like that, you can't get through to people. So I don't know. I remember one of the Tom McDonald videos we did, someone was like, oh, we'd love to meet your parents. They raised you right. And I was like,
you don't want to meet them.
I'm just not going to reply to that comment. But if you have a kid out of wedlock, create another single mother, another kid that doesn't have a parent, or doesn't have two parents, no role model, and that's fine. That's okay.
Make sure it's a multiracial kid, though.
No one has a problem with that.
I mean, it's just, I don't know, this silliness. But that was such a, clever, artistic way to put it all together. It was so catchy. It's that's, the subconscious lyrics that I think kids could, they could be repeating in their head. The single motherhood line. You know what I mean? They could be repeating
Changing
stuff.
the culture.
Yeah, that literally...
Because it's not just poverty, it's the culture. So, I mean, there's poor white communities. There's probably way more poor white people in America than black people. So you can't tell me it's just poverty. It is the culture. And I think the main culprit is hip-hop. I do. It's very influential. But we talk about it all the time. We've had friends from the county, or not even from the hood, that have died in the streets.
Yeah.
Being wannabe county thugs. Where do they learn to want to be a thug from? Hip-hop.
But how do we know that hip hop isn't just like drugs in the ghettos, and you know what I mean? What if that's sort of like manipulated, but like what if that's like, you know what I mean? What if that's been changed and altered to like
drugs in the ghetto?
No, like how there's drugs in the ghettos and how there's, you know, the abortion stuff is supposed to be, you know, basically they're put in all the most impoverished communities and stuff. It's like, what if hip hop was essentially marketed and like mass produced, mass distributed to poison the youth? Like, you know what I mean?
It could be.
Like, what if it was like a niche movement?
It could be.
I got a question for you though on this topic before we jump back in.
Okay, before we jump back in,
because I'm not done here.
That's crazy. Bryson Gray hopped on the stream.
That's
What are the
awesome.
chances? It's so late.
That's awesome.
What are the chances?
Yes, sir. So
That is crazy.
My question is, do you think? Okay, so you're saying like, you know, Warner Music Group and like all these like entities, right? The whatever organizations. How do they do that? Like, they're not a single person. Like, it's like there's levels and tiers and people that get paid more and answer to somebody else and somebody else. So, like, what? I highly doubt it's a CEO. CEO is probably talking to investors. So, it's like, who is doing this? Who?
I don't think you can pin it down to one person.
But then, okay, a group of people. What is the purpose? A group?
To be woke and destroy America.
But at the top of these organizations.
I don't know, but I bet it's a bunch of money in it for them, because if they do get their little utopian dream nightmare thing, they're all going to be okay. They're all going to be okay. All these people at the top of the organization, they're going to have all the resources. You know what I mean? Honestly, though, blaming hip-hop is like parents blaming video games for their kids not listening to them. I mean, it's similar, but like, hip-hop is very influential. You can have good parents. Yeah. And hip-hop still can like, I was raised by my mom, and she was a good mom, but she's not a disciplinarian, but she was a good mom. And that was the hardest part about being bad, was disappointing her. But she wasn't like some like hood rat mom or anything. And I was the only one of my brothers who was that bad. It was really just me as a kid and the influences I gave into. There's like some degree, like parents don't have 100% control over their kids. Kids still make decisions even though you don't have a fully developed adult brain. Still, a lot of that is just going to be on the kids and their peers and all that kind of stuff.
So I have a rebuttal to that.
What?
I think the education system is more responsible than hip-hop.
You think more responsible?
Yeah, because I think that the way it's structured, it teaches kids not to think for themselves. And I think if you could think for yourself, you could listen to the lyrics in hip-hop music and be like, wait a minute, why would I want to listen? Why do I think this is cool? You know what I mean? Kids don't really ask why enough, but they start out asking why. And by the end of like high school, college, they don't ask why anymore. You know?
Right.
So, I mean, I kind of think it goes hand in hand with that.
I do think it goes hand in hand, but my number one influence, that's been like from my personal experience, I know it had a huge influence on me. It had a huge influence on a ton of my friends. Yeah. Like we all wanted to be little mini thugs growing up. You know what I mean? Yeah. Had my braids and a little do-rag. I wanted to get a grill. You know what I mean? I finally did get a grill. I have a grill, bottom 6.
Oh my God.
I could go grab it right now. I have a silver grill.
Oh my God.
It's like all this influence that is from hip hop.
Thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Comment if you want to share something that you noticed in the video or something you want to say hi. It doesn't really matter. We always love talking to you guys, so whatever you want to do, you know what I'm saying?
Join the Discord. Yeah. The link is in the description. We get a lot of our recommendations from Discord, and we're in there every day talking with the Couch Gang.
Yes, it's like a big group chat, and we love you guys so much. Until next time, that's a wrap.
I don't know. Tell me, man, what do you know? What do you know? Me and my boys on the road. We to go. She told me, boy, you to go. Like, I don't know.